Hello, hello and welcome back to Space Engineers on the Xbox, on the Series X, for the next part of our pistons and drills tutorial. Last time we made this horizontal drill and I showed you how to link two pistons together and make it so the drill extended at about 0.1 of a meter a second. This is necessary to do the next part because we're going to automatically reset the drill when it reaches the maximum distance, and to do that we need to use the new block that came out in automatons. This is the event controller, and you can find it all the way here under Advanced Systems. Now, when you've got your radial open, if you tap the A button, you can see it will cycle blocks in a group. Or you can select the block and just push up on the D-pad until you reach your chosen block at the end. Let's just flip that. So there it is, the event controller. I've done several videos on this, but to quickly recap, it can read various states of blocks in the game and act upon them. So in this case, what we want to do with this one is we want it so that when our drill reaches maximum distance, 100%, we want to trigger several things. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to look on here. We want to change our event. We want to alter the event to, let's come down the list, piston position. And we want equal or greater than 100. And that should output the action to slot 1. We don't need to worry at the moment about slot 2. We don't want to do anything when the event is false. But we're reading the distance on two pistons. So we're going to have to add our pistons. So we take piston 1 and piston 2. And to add them, it's the same as grouping blocks. Hold down the right bumper and press A on both until they look like this. Then go down on the D-pad, add blocks. Now come down again, past this, and you want AND gate. Make sure that is selected. So when piston 1 and piston 2 reach 100%, then it will trigger action slot 1. So now we come back to our actions. Now remember, we grouped up our pistons. So straight away, when we go to our select actions, what we want to do is we want to choose not the block itself on our first action, but we want to choose the group. And we want our drill pistons and we want to retract them. Like so. Then we want to go back to all blocks, but before we do anything, we want to tap the right trigger. This will put us on the second toolbar for our actions. And now we can turn our drill off. So we'll turn the drill off and we'll pull the pistons back when they reach their maximum drill distance. Now what you could do is you could start a timer block that has the drill run for an additional 60 seconds, a couple of minutes, whatever, and then trigger the timer block to retract the pistons. But for the purpose of this particular one, all we want to do is pull the pistons back. And that should turn off the drill and retract the pistons. And what we can do now, jump in our control seat. If you remember that our drill pistons here should be set, and we can just start the drill and start our pistons. Now if you want to automate the drill so that it stays and then moves on, stays and moves on, that again could be done with a timer block. But like I said, this is a simple system to monitor the distance of the pistons. You can go far more complex and do far more, but what you can't do is you can't, unfortunately, use the timer block system to extend the piston every 60 seconds, because unfortunately it reads that, as I said in the last video, each step of the piston is read as 100% of the piston's actual distance, so it doesn't work. We're getting close, getting closer. And hopefully when this hits 100%, oops, there we go, it's now pulling the piston back. And there's no way to sort of, without scripting, set the piston speed to maximum, not without using again, timer blocks to increase the piston speed constantly until it reaches a faster speed than it is. So you're stuck with waiting for these things to reset at the same speed they went down at, unless you're going to fiddle with it and make it more complex. The idea is to make a simple one that doesn't take up overly much in the way of PCU, because the more blocks, more timer blocks and so on that you add, the more complex the PCU of the grid becomes. And if you want to know how to check that, just go onto your grid, go to info, and it will tell you exactly what you're using. We're using 325 PCU just on this grid alone. And PCU is a function of how much your console can handle in terms of performance units of the blocks before it starts either crashing or just lagging. And you'll see if you click in the left stick that the total PCU on this one is 500,000, and I've hardly used any on the Series X. But there you go, that is the drill reset, and that really is all I wanted to show you how to do. That's your event controller linked up to the 2 pistons, so that when it reaches 100%, all it does is it just resets the whole thing. Now, a few people have asked me how I build my drill heads, so I wanted to take a little bit extra time to show you how I tend to build a drill head, just so that it looks a little nicer. So if we just pop down a piston, and we'll start with just the next important part. I think I've gone past it. We want our, let's flick that there, advanced rotor. So we've got our piston, we have our advanced rotor, and we need an advanced rotor because of that conveyor. No good building a drill with a regular rotor because it just will not work. And then we want our tool, we want our drill, and we build one drill there. Then we build one here, one here, one here, one here. And that's our drill with our piston, our rotor. And since I'm not playing on a server, I'm going to go ahead and just pop a shear inertia tensor for the time being. Yeah, we can use this. So can't remember if I've got any other rotors on this grid, so let's have a look. Nope. So we go to the advanced rotor here, we'll pop shear inertia tensor on. We want the speed of this rotor to rotate at 1 RPM. That's a nice slow enough drill speed. We're going to control this rotor from down here. So we'll just pop on here like so. So now we just look through here for our advanced rotor, and we have toggle block on off. And we probably want to, thinking about it, just pop up the braking torque on our rotor as well, so that it comes to a stop. So we want braking torque. Let's just put it midway here. Right, so now to pretty this drill head up, we want to go to our light armor blocks and just choose your slope. Orientate it so that it fits there. Here. Here. And here. And then all we're going to do is pop one there. You can, if you want, to just leave it as it is. but this will just make it look a bit prettier. Then we'll switch to this one, the light armor corner, and just rotate them into place, like so. You have to change the axis by tapping down on the D-pad. And then just in the middle of this lot here, rotate this one until it fits like that. Like that. Like that. And like that. And then you have a nice drill head. And when you look at your system running, we can turn the advanced rotor on, like so. The drills, of course, will need to be grouped, so we can go into our control panel. There's our drills. So if we tap A on one, hold down the right bumper and just keep tapping A until we reach drill 5. Use the stick, move across the block group, and just name it something like this. Save it off, and then you want to pop those on the D-pad, hold down the direction, tap the right bumper till you're on your drill test group, toggle block on off, start our drills. And because we've got shear inertia tensor on, things aren't going to shake to pieces. And then all you need to do to finalize it is look at any pistons that may be on the grid. There's only one, so that's good. We want the velocity on this piston we want it to come down to about that, and then we want, clear that. Let's see, we want to come onto the D-pad, push right on the D-pad, tap the left bumper till we reach all blocks, look down our list, find our piston, and put our piston on extend. And then whether or not it'll go down all the way, I don't know. This wasn't a full build of a drill, just to give you an idea how to build a nice looking drill head. And there you are. It looks good. And I used one, if you remember my video way back on how we built this, I actually used one on the build of this in a similar way. And there you go. Obviously you'll want to build it so that it's got a couple of pistons, so you can go down maybe 2, 3, 4, depending. But that's the general idea. Hopefully this has been of some use to you, and now you know how to A, build cool looking drill heads, and B, how to monitor a couple of pistons or more and automatically retract them. If you want, I can go into more detail on how to potentially build a rig that pauses and then extends as it goes on. One of the ways to do it would be just simply to turn off the pistons while they're still on extend. Let the drill do a few rotations using a timer block, and then turn them back on so that they extend again. What you don't want to do is alter the max distance at all, because then the event controller won't read it. That is a subject for another time. Until then, stay safe, take care, have fun, enjoy the game, happy engineering. Loads more to come from me, loads more to come from Keen. Until then, though, we're moving towards 4 years of Space Engineers content on this channel. That'll be around the launch, which I think was April, nearly 4 years ago. But that was the Xbox launch. I played Space Engineers way back on the PC when it was in early access. And yeah, until then, though, bye for now.